Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with, Josh Scorch with 5 Great Villain Songs number 5, Love Edition. So, you know how this thing goes. 5 great songs, this time we got love. So yeah, basically villains talk about love. This should be interesting. So, let's check it out. Be sure to subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
Making up a song about
Yeah, copyright.
Welcome to 5 Great Villain Songs, where we talk about one villain song from each of the 5 categories. Non-Disney movies, theater, TV shows, video games, and fan-made. These are not ordered in any way, and will release a volume every month. Feel free to let me know what other songs you want me to talk about in a future volume.
Go Patreon.
In the meantime, enjoy the show.
Next up. Who's bad? Let's go. And non-Disney up first. There we go. Had to do it.
Picture this. Tim Curry as a muscular black cloud of smoke, singing sexy jazz
Toxic
about
love?
fossil fuels.
Strange, isn't it?
Hardly. It's not the first time.
True.
Wow, you really get around.
But yeah, what you just pictured is the villain song sung by Hexus, Tim Curry's character in the 1992 animated children's film
Fern
Ferngully,
Gully.
The Last Rainforest. It's a pretty heavy-handed and cliche eco-fiction love story, but it's got some good animation for the time, cute character interactions, and some pretty decent musical numbers. Yes, even Robin Williams rapping as a bat is kinda goated. But easily the best musical number in the movie is Toxic Love. For some context, Hexus is an entity that represents pollution and is believed to be the one responsible for wiping out all humans. Magi, the leader of the fairy tribe, sealed Hexus away in a tree, never to be seen again. Too bad the humans still want to level entire forests, as that's what ultimately releases Hexus from his wooden binds. He infiltrates the leveler and begins to serenade this machine with a sensual jazz number that only the deep voice of Tim Curry
can do
justice.
That's rather nice.
Toxic love sings a type of love that is just as toxic as the one shared by couples like Andrew and Ashley. A love of global warming. It's a kind of seductive serenade that makes rich oil tycoonists weak at the knees. It's actually kind of comedic that this song about fossil fuels is written so romantically. For those not in the know, the movie version of Toxic Love actually isn't the full version. The reason for that is...
A special kind of horny.
Yeah.
That would have lost the G rating. Innuendos aside, there is actual commentary to be had within this song, all sung through Curry's luscious voice and easily the best instrumentation in the movie. You could argue that Toxic Love is another contributor to Ferngully's
go check out
overall
Patreon if you want to hear the whole
and
thing.
yeah, it is. But the song is so indicative of what's being talked about today in regards to climate change and how corporate greed fuels it. And yes, like a lot of
people
eco
just
films, it
seem ignoring
hyper-focuses on one big contributor rather than, but it's all done through a voice acting titan that you kind of don't care that it's not super nuanced. The only people I can think of who wouldn't be turned on by this song are folks like Bill Nye and Al Gore. For everyone else, however, Toxic Love is a number that I, our children, and our children's children will appreciate for years to come.
Yeah, and honestly, I think stuff like that is, I think I'm not gonna go political here, but you get the idea, right? Eesh. You'd think governments would just let it go, some of this stuff go, and focus on the other stuff. That affects our world, not just their country. Anyway, I'm done. Moving on. Off the theater! Shall we?
In 1967, comedy film giant Mel Brooks gave us The Producers. This black comedy tells of Max Ballystock, a crooked Broadway producer, and Leo Bloom, a mousy accountant, trying to scam their way into fortune with a Broadway flop. In 2001, the movie was turned into a full-blown musical, and a dang fun one, too. Honestly, the original is a timeless classic, but I think the story works a little better as a musical. Apparently, someone at Universal thought the same thing, too, as the story was adapted again, this time as a musical film in 2005. Now, a harebrained scheme like this is pretty expensive, so how are Max and Leo gonna raise the money?
What? Okay.
Of the duo, Max is clearly the more depraved one. He swindles money from little old grannies with romantic dates and dirty games. Lots of
Dirty games.
Dirty games. And with a project this big, he plans to launch himself into little old lady land. And he does so with a waltz. Yeah, I don't think I need to spell out why this is wrong.
Cougar
In
hunter, I
Max's
guess?
eyes, he's offering these frail grannies the love and attention they desperately need on their last leg of life. And if he just happens to make a hefty buck on the side, then everyone's happy, right? Plus, he's just so charismatic that it's child's play for him. So obviously, we know what he's doing is morally bankrupt.
Yep.
What do his victims think of all this? Well, they seem happy. I honestly don't know if that makes this worse or not. Okay, this might be the odd one out as it's more about sex than romance, but it's just plain nuts. It's vulgar, it's twisted, it's absurd, it's unapologetically fun.
Sure.
Between the silly lyrics, the mesmerizing music, and the insane dance sequence when all the widows become a chorus line, it's everything you'd want from a Mel Brooks musical, all culminating in a massive reprise of nearly every song in the first act. Another one of Brooks' movies, Young Frankenstein, got the musical treatment as well. If it's anything like the producers, I wouldn't mind seeing it get the film adaptation treatment also.
Let's just make sure they do it right, huh? Alright. Next up, TV. What do we got?
Mongrel.
Puppet show darling and BBC's own South Park. While Mongrels didn't take off quite as much, the eccentric British raunchiness and ridiculously good musical numbers did garner it a strong cult following. Strong enough to get its own SFM parodies even, which is likely how a lot of non-Brits found this show. And in this joyous month of love, what better song from this show to talk about than the one about the pros of domestic abuse?
What?
In the first episode of Season 2, Destiny, the bitch character, found a hot dog, actual dog. She managed to hook him in as her partner, which impressed her fellow doggy peers. So she endows them with all the ways of catching and maintaining a partner. And as expected, the solution is giving your boyfriend a taste of that tough love. For these deranged dogs, nothing says a good relationship like physically and mentally abusing their boyfriends until they submit to good old Stockholm Syndrome. Like minorities in South Park, the hilarity in this song comes from just how professionally over the top and mean it is. The upbeat music and Lucy Montgomery's singing had no business going this hard, but that's why it works. Fun fact, a good amount of song in Mongrels tend to parody other songs with a similar style. In this case, it's Smile by Lily Allen. Yeah, if you know what that's about, the inspiration is definitely not lost here. Fortunately, we're not supposed to root for Destiny. She gets her fun cut short as the SPCA did end up taking the male dogs away. The shocking toxic couple satire almost makes you forget this episode's actual plot is the espionage edition of A Fox and the Hound.
I want to know. Yeah, it does feel like that. And also, sheesh, you think the dogs are like, oh, thank you for getting away from me, from the crazy girl. And I can imagine that. I don't even have to listen to it. I can already tell. Sheesh. Now I'm not sure if I want to look up Mongrels anymore. I mean, you're welcome to do it yourself. Good luck. Anyway, next. Last two. Video game next.
Okay, so
what game we
last
got?
segment was a wee bit cruel, but hey, we got an anime visual novel for the video game segment. Should be wholesome, right?
It's Doki, isn't it? Yep, Doki Literature Club. Do you expect anything else at this rate?
Oh.
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club is a game that made waves on the internet by being a cutesy anime visual novel that turns into an existential nightmare. I'll admit that I thought this game was kinda overrated, and let's not kid ourselves, it's kinda fallen from grace since its release. The latest content we got was just glorified DLC that cost $15 for a free game. But easily the most iconic part of Doki Doki is its characters, especially Monica, who's basically Flowey if he was a yandere. Throughout the game, she deletes the rest of the girl's character files so that you can end up with her. Eventually, her plan succeeds, but you can play at this fourth wall breaking game, delete Monica's character file, and she disappears. But she's not mad at you for long. She realizes that she allowed her own selfishness to corrupt her. Get it? Like a corrupted file? And out of love for you, she brings everyone in the literature club back apart from herself. But it didn't work. It did not work. Realizing that this endless cycle of torture and death will never end, she deletes everything forever, but not without sending the player off with one last serenade.
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you.
Your reality plays over the game's end credits, and it's a bittersweet summary of Monica's journey of falling in love with you, but realizing that being with the player is simply not possible. It's a very sweet sounding song, if a little bit
I'm actually
twisted.
Yeah.
Ink flows down into a dark puddle. Just move your hand right the way into his heart.
Yeah, Monica's serenade
Okay.
may sound sweet and
Honestly,
sincere,
I'm
but
surprised
she
you
still
never got a
typically
follow-up
killed
game to
3 other
this.
girls to get
You
the
know?
ending she wanted.
saying.
Sure, the other 3 girls were just
So crazy.
programmed to be attracted to the player, but that didn't stop
You can
Monica
see
from
on-
seeing them as
open possibilities for
competition.
this.
So she did what she had to do to get the happy
Yep.
ending she wanted.
And if this world won't write me an ending, what will it take just for me to have it all?
But despite having everything she ever wanted,
Yeah.
you and her forever, Monica realizes that if she truly loves you, she needs to let you
Let
have
go.
a choice. Despite deleting her, she still loves you and she wants you to be happy. She wants everyone to be happy. But there's no happiness to be found in the literature club. Only an endless cycle of torment for both the girls and the player.
If I can't hear the sound of your heartbeat, what do you call love in your reality? And in your reality, if I don't know how to love you,
Yeah. Again, a song that
I'll
Monica's
leave
just a
you be.
tragic.
Listening to this song reminds
feel
me of a
bad for
more
Monica now.
stripped-down version of Shoes of Glass from Saya no Uta, which we talked about earlier.
True.
Monica, similar to Fuminori and Saya, is forced to realize that her insatiable desire to have the player for herself
Oops.
made her into a far worse person, and the only option was to allow herself to be erased from existence and let you go. But don't worry, Monica. You still have simps on the internet that won't let you die. Seriously, have you seen the mods for this game? I'm actually impressed.
I mean, you ain't wrong. There is like, I think I actually do remember this mod actually say something. Multiple, I
Did you
think,
ever
too.
wake up and think that there would be a boy band fan song for classic slasher movies? No?
Okay.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, wait. I want to... Oh, wait. Is this... Oh, it's Backstreet Boys. Yo. Okay, okay. Why am I not surprised? We cover this. So, which song? Which
Slasher
song?
parody boy band The Slash Street Boys. I could not make that up if I tried. Usually do, well, parodies of other pop
Yeah,
tunes,
I'll
modifying the
kill
lyrics to fit
you
the classic
that
baddies of
way.
the horror genre.
Yeah.
Those are all great, but in 2022, they released their first completely original piece.
Really?
Love to Die. Starring
Oh,
the
this I
ultimate
gotta hear.
icons of Ghostface, Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, and Jason Voorhees, Love to Die is a comically
Die.
flirtatious
I'm not
homage
sure
to
what
the
it is.
boy
Let's hear
band
it.
music of the early 2000s, attempting to be alluring with the idea of dying to the knives of the slashers. It's so ridiculous, but it's
It
so
works.
clever. And it's a banger.
Actually, pretty good.
I think something
Dang,
pop
this-
fangirl just happened to me. This style
Yeah,
of
it
music
does
is
sound good.
not the first thing you would think of when imagining music from serial killers.
No
Maybe you'd
kidding.
expect grandiose, horrific church organs or ominous tones that sound straight out of Dead Space. Heck, maybe even classical music.
Yeah.
But creativity and subverting expectations is something Love to Die does better
True.
than most. Besides, each and every one of these guys indulge in delightful murder as much as these exaggeratedly romanticized lyrics would make you believe. Ain't it fun?
True.
Don't you love to die?
And they have their own-
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about bloodlust.
Oh,
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to make
go
dad
there,
jokes
come
now.
on.
I'm a dad. Anything by some metrosexual boy band has
Even I
got
was
to
like,
be
come on, you
qualified
had to
as a
go
love
there.
song. I think
Yeesh.
it's meant to be taken about as seriously as any of the music it mimics.
True.
Trite and ridiculous on the surface, but enthralling and detailed to those willing to play it on loop. I feel like the idea of fan music is often associated with animation or games. It's always a
True.
treat when something different
Slasher,
gets that
yeah.
treatment. For such dark villains, the unsuspecting genre and nature of the song
Thank
make
you,
it more
Merkins.
comical and lighthearted, while still maintaining that bad boy air. Ladies, if a man brings his friends to sing a song he wrote,
Just for you.
just double check his lyrics to make sure he's not leading you to your knife demise. Stay safe.
Yep. Honestly, man, I almost forgot about the Slash Street Boys. Shoot, I wonder if they're still making songs. Man, I gotta admit, the Love to Die thing, that was actually pretty good. Holy crap. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Till next time, let me know your favorite song. Adios.